Yeah. You crossed the ocean just to find your granny. Sacrificed your own boys for a lie. Listen. Yeah. Yeah. Make America great again. Yo, Tails, this shit crazy. Yeah, make America great again now. You will see what happens, yeah. Watch this. Sacred defense, we protecting the soil. While you sacrifice soldiers to pay for your spoil. You first who ran the globe, sitting on your throne. Now we turning every base into a bed of stone. It's a slaughterhouse.
What's good?
Welcome to the graveyard of your vanity. The secrets are
They're making songs now.
The pressure is rising. We locked on the target. And now you are hiding. LOSCR. Yeah, we spelling at your name. Send them to the slaughter, you the only one to blame. Bleeding for a bucket while you shaking in your sweet. LOSCR. Taste the ash of defeat. LOSCR. Yeah, we spelling at your name. Send them to the slaughter, you the only one to blame. Bleeding for a bucket while you shaking in your sweet. LOSCR. Taste the ash of defeat. In your suit, hiding Epstein's ghost. You sent your boys to die on the bloody coast. Not a revenge for the leader's blood is purely mine. Every drop of his blood is a missile on the line. You thought you took him out, thought the fire was dead, but another common name is standing ahead. Yeah, you strike one down, we just shatter your brain. We put another in the lid. Common name again. The secrets are leaking. The pressure is rising. We locked on the target. And now you are hiding. LOSCR. Yeah, we spelling out your name. Send them to the slaughter, you the only one to blame. Bleeding for a puppet while you shaking in your sweet. LOSCR. Taste the ash. LOSCR. Yeah, we spelling out your name. Send them to the slaughter, you the only one to blame. Bleeding for a puppet while you shaking in your sweet.
What's good, man, Joe?
Taste the ash of defeat. Sacred defense of the homeland. Sacred defense of the homeland. Sacred defense of the homeland.
It's a catchy tune, dude.
The slaughterhouse is open. Common name cat. LOSCR.
Yeah, that's right. Today it's not Terry and the boys. Today it's, oh yeah. They're just saying, like, because, like, yeah. So if you, in terms this community understands, they just put that video out to pretty much tell America to pull up. You know? It's like, but the good thing is, first the purpose of the stream, right? It's like the title. I will discuss global events. I'm willing to discuss global events with Abe specifically, right? Because Abe, a very well-informed fella, and I want the American perspective, right? Abe is not banned on this channel, nor is he banned in the chat. He objects to this channel because people saying mean things in the chat. And that's why he will not grant us his appearance or presence, right? On a on a moral high ground, he cannot participate in this channel, so that will be his excuse. But the thing is, like, Abe will not show. He's not banned or anything. As soon as, I will not put out the link because these topics are very important, and I will not have too much divergence. But we're waiting for Abe, right? He can make himself known with his little dot in the chat, and I will drop a link for him specifically. That I roll out the red carpet. Now, what's up, Freeside? I'm rolling out the red carpet for Abe to discuss with him current happenings. Because Abe, Iranian bullshit, he calls it. You know, this Iranian bullshit that's going on, whatever. And, well, he says I'm a little bit of a lunatic because I say, like, nuclear war is an option. Which it is, by the way. Yesterday, you know, like, you can check that shit yourself. Yesterday, somebody of the UN resigned because he said he will not be a part of this. And they're planning for a nuclear exchange. Not like planning like to do it, but like planning so what to do after. Right? And what's going on. And I'm telling you, with the nukes, I think it's not even America, it's Israel who I could see Netanyahu like do something tremendously stupid. I can also Trump see something tremendously stupid. But the good thing is there seems to be an off-ramp. Well, the mixed signals. It's like, well, first of all, Hexet, right? He had his little speech ending it with a prayer. That is good, right? Piss off like millions of Muslim people and end it with a prayer. Make the thing a holy war, right? Make it a religious war. In the year you're going to have like the Soccer World Cup in your country. Well, that's a good idea. Right, but nobody gonna come to your country because you let nobody in anyways. Have you seen the requirements it takes to be a tourist to America? Dude, that sounds like you're trying to enter South Korea or something. Now, not South Korea, that would be nice. North Korea. The better Korea, that one. Right? Dude. It's like you have give them your emails from the last 5 years, your phone numbers from the last 3 years, your business emails, your pretty much everything, right? They want that. Just to be a visitor to these United States, so nobody will come. Like, why would you? Right? It's ridiculous. It's like, it's just the stupidity. It's almost like, and that's why I'm so angry about that shit, right? It's almost like purposefully he's ruining like the United States and every alliance they have and like everything. He's just setting it on fire. It's ridiculous, like the levels of ridiculousness, right? So this week, the Americans hosted the Russian Duma. If you know what the Russian Duma is, that's pretty much their Congress, right? So, dude, so your Republican Party hosts the Russian Congress while Russia is providing targeting information to Iran to kill your soldiers in the Middle East, right? Well, you cannot even be mad about that, but that's because that's what we do for Ukraine, right? They're just doing the same shit. But let that sink in, dude. While this shit is going on and you're bombing Iran and Russia provides them with the information to bomb all your bases and shit like that, and not only Russia, China probably too, right? They're allies, just like we do. Provide them with that shit. You're hosting them, right? And the thing is like, I mean, I understand it. That might be like, I mean, it's idiotic and it's obscure, but the thing is like, Russia is the only way out for Trump because Russia has leverage in Iran, right? So they in a very good place to negotiate, right? And then they can negotiate a little bit with Ukraine too. Well, we help you out to get out of Iran, you help us with that Ukraine shit and bada bing, bada boom. That would be nice, right? I mean, for the greater outcome. It's still like absurd. Like, because like, I mean, he did this. It's almost like, I don't know. So, I mean, the biggest winner in all of this is Russia, right? And it's very strange, dude. It's just very strange to me. Like how all this unfolds, But let me be straight, dude. If this leads to an end of this, like, I'm all for it, whatever it is. Like, I don't care. Because a lot of people like Abe don't think of the ramifications this all will have and already has. Right? So it's already, right, dude? We will see, like, ramifications for the next years. It's ridiculous. Oh, what's going on, Chris? Let me say hello to people. Midwest Cannonball. Yeah, dude, that Andrea knows, or whoever that is, that's a side character, dude. Is she not worth the hassle? Or it? Like, I don't want to misgender. I'm only specifically here for Abe. See, that's why I'm not fixated with the numbers like he is. I'm doing my thing for an audience of one. And due to his mental illness, he is watching, right? So as soon as I see one person, I know who it is. The others are just, you can just, you are just the lurkers who can observe and sometimes, can interject. But the proposition is simple. Abe reveals himself. After that, I drop the link. But it has to be the real Abe, you know? And then we can do this. But Abe cannot do this. Abe can only talk about YouTube, right? So that seems to be... And also Trump made a speech I think it was today, yeah. But so the off-ramp seems to be he is not concerned with the opening of the Strait of Hormuz no more. And he will say, yeah, well, we're done and just leave, right? Because the problem is, what you don't understand, when he started this, right? The last time they did it like for 12 days or for 5 days, what was it? Like, I don't know, right? And then they rearmed, and now they're doing it again. So Iran is saying, nah, we ain't ending this motherfucker. This ends on our terms, right? So their terms are very simple. They want reparations for everything that's damaged. They want a public apology from the United States. And they will have a toll system for the Strait of Hormuz. That's pretty much like, and they will pursue nuclear weapons freely. And shit, right? So that is their terms. I think you can negotiate away the nuclear weapons because they have a fatwa against it to begin with, right? So that can be negotiated. But I don't think, another big term, like every base in the Middle East gone. They want America out of the Middle East, right? So that is their terms that they're gonna stop. Well, I don't know. If you like, the way I observe Trump, like Trump is not the guy who, like, even if he's like about to, Trump doesn't want to be embarrassed, right? And their withdrawal would be the biggest military embarrassment that America has ever seen, right? Because they pretty much like said, like, we're the superpower. You say what we're gonna do. You do what we're gonna say. And Iran just pretty much saying, no, we ain't. You know? And then they just hit back relentlessly, right? And that's all it takes. Because also, it turns out the American army is in nowhere prepared to fight against these drones and that shit. Because the battlefield in the modern warfare has changed. So, in one way, like, Trump probably happy that all that shit gets destroyed out there. A couple of your Stratotankers they got one of your AWACS planes and shit like that, you know? Billions of dollars. But they have to restructure their army anyway, you know, to deal with this new warfare kind, right? This old drone shit. So, you know? And the problem that everybody is having around the world, and I know you Americans don't care about the rest of the world, right? But the rest of the world is very passionate about this. Because it's like we're all living in a street, right? And you don't like the guy that's living in one house of the street. So you burn his house down, and in retaliation, he burns down the whole street, right? Then people still would ask, like, so why did you burn his house down then? Right? And it's like the dude telling you, dude, if you burn my house down, I'm gonna burn down the whole street. Before, right? Like, this is what's happening is no surprise. That's why no American president did it before him. Yeah, dude, that's another problem, right, Cannonball? Yeah, well, Israel. Because, like, this has been lobbied to American presidents for years. Like, Obama didn't do it, right? Biden, even he, brain dead as he was, didn't do it, right? Like, Bush didn't do it, right? But there comes Trump. All right, so he gullible enough, he does it. And Israel, you have to understand, they had, like, the spokesperson of the IDF said pretty much we don't have the man capacity for that shit because they are busy like extending the territory in Lebanon and shit, right? So while America is bombing Iran, Israel is doing land grabs as much as they can. So when this is over, they can, the border a little bit and shit, right? Also, Israel today or yesterday in their parliament, right? They passed this law that now Palestinians who are linked to a lethal terror attack, right? It is like mandatory death sentence, right? So, well, all right, dude, it's ridiculous, right? So they are busy doing their shit, right? And it's not like, and you have to understand, Iran, all they do is justified because they only retaliate, right? In the first strikes of the war, an American Tomahawk, right? And where Trump said, yeah, it might be the Iranians themselves. So now they got Tomahawks now, right? And this is proven beyond like whatever, right? So there is a situation where a former building, right, if years ago was a military building, it's now a school building for little girls. It's a little girls' school, right? Where a lot of the military elite sent their kids. In the first week, you bombed that school with the kids still in them. And nearly 200, I think, or 100 something. You gave them a fucking Pearl Harbor right at the beginning. Right? How would you, even if you don't like Trump, right? Even if you don't like Trump, you're the biggest anti-Trump motherfucker ever, right? So if Mexico all of a sudden bombs an American school with a lot of schoolgirls, you motherfuckers would do movies about that shit, like 20 years still, you know? I'm just saying, dude. It's not like these motherfuckers, oh yeah, we're getting liberated by them freedom bombs that the American drop, you know? No, dude. You have a country of millions of people that are eager to kill every American or Western ally that sets foot in their country. And I cannot blame them. Right? That's the fucked up shit, dude. Like, there's no way to justify all this action that is taken. No way. And it's so ridiculous. I would do the fucking same, dude. If I would be an Iranian and that shit goes down. For them, they're fighting for their existence. Right? And you have to understand, you're America. You're a baby when it comes to civilization. You're talking Persia. Persia. It's the cradle of civilizations. Through history, Persia is called the graveyard of empires. Because it's not like people haven't tried before. Yeah, fine, what? Are you German? Can talk about America? Oh, yes, I can. Because we vowed never again. Right? And when it turns out that you become the Nazis, all of a sudden, right? Then I will speak up, motherfucker. You, as an American, you should check out what's going on in your country. Little Trump faggot. Ridiculous. Well, if we go down that route, motherfucker, you killed the Indians way before we killed the Jews, right? So you will have no place to talk. Motherfucker, blankets handing out with them smallpox, motherfucker. Right? Dude. And that is, that is dead, right? These motherfuckers, dude, that is the level of brain dead. Okay? And dude, yeah, the irony, that is also alone from that part, right? So let's say, fuck all these Iranians, like, we don't give a fuck, right? They are them sand whatevers, right? Whatever. You know, they're not even people, right? All right. Since we also so educated in the West, right? You understand that it's not a good prospect to shut down a $55,000 drone with a $2 million missile. You understand that, right? So devoid all the people from that shit. From an economical standpoint, you understand, right, that it's not a good idea to intercept drones with $1 million missiles. Dude, just put on the TV, watch the Iron Dome at night. Everything they shoot down, right? When you see it blink in the sky. That's the 4th of July, baby. 2 million, 2 million, 2 million, 2 million, 2 million. And now I ask you, American taxpayer, who do you think pays for that shit? Do you think like these missiles are like they're falling out of... Yeah, well, for some people they fall out of the air. But do you think they just appear out of thin air? Right? These Stratotankers they destroyed. It's almost, I think almost like in the hundreds of millions each plane. It's almost billions, I think, right? And I think they got 2 or 3. The AVAX plane they got, right? They're very precise with their hits, and they're not even hitting you with the good part. Because Iran said, like, we planned for this. It was obvious that it's going to come, right? So we're going to sit this one out as long as it takes. So they're very smart in, like, hitting them with the barrages. They're not, like, America is shooting up all their good shit, right? And they just, and then hit them with a supersonic missile. Boom, right? And then all of a sudden, whoa, this cannot be, right? It is. That's what it is. Because the cannonball is informed. Because the Strait of Hormuz, technically, is open. All you have to do, pay Iran a little bit of a fee, and pay in Chinese currency. That's all you have to do. And they route you personally, escorted by the Iranian Navy or whatever that is, or whatever they have. They escort you through their waters that you can go freely. Right? Because there's a way around that thingy too with the Iranian waters and shit like that. Why? Because at the end of all of this, China wants to replace the dollar with the yen as the currency we deal petrol with. Why would China be interested in such a thing? Because, like that is, see, when you are the nation that has pretty much the world currency, that is like a unlimited money glitch, right? Because it's all in your currency. Why do you think, like, America is that much in debt? And why your money is stable, right? So the problem is if that currency changes, right? So let's say you have to pay. So you pay. This is just numbers out of my ass. I don't know the real numbers, but let's say you pay $1 trillion interest for your debt each year. Yeah, right? Well, you pay $1 trillion, easy for you, world currency. Now, if Chinese currency would be the world currency, you're still paying now you're paying like 1 trillion yen interest, whatever amount of dollar that is, converted, right? That is the problem. And your whole economy relies on that. So I don't think it will replace it, like with that Iran shit. Like if I hope, dude, I really hope he has some advisors around him that will tell him to get the fuck out of there. Like take the L and whatever, right? That dude. So that will, on the economy, it will have like a tremendous amount of influx in America. No matter like. And the problem is, like, people complaining in when can I have news and we'll get it. Yes. See that that is that is also a side effect, right? Von der Leyen, like, she's a German politician, but she's the head of Europe pretty much, like the European president, right, or whatever that is. So she is. She said, like, in a public speech, yesterday that letting go of nuclear weapons was a strategic mistake. You know? So you know what that means. We all want to have nukes now. It's like for everybody like who can afford it and is not like, you know, on the shit list of everybody, dude, they all thinking about getting nukes now. Because nukes would have prevented this, right? That's the crazy shit, dude. So you will see like a nuclear rearmament around the world, right? That's gonna happen. Like, that's a good idea. And for me, it's just the baffling shit is like, this is it's not even the midterms, right? Dude has not even like really started yet. And he already fucked up the world. And the thing is, the people around the world know who to blame too. Because like every politician, right? It's like saying, oh, we're heading. The funny shit is they have now carte blanche to blame their local misgivings on all of that, right? Oh, low job numbers, we have whatever, there's oil, all that, Trump's fault. Right? And to a certain degree, it's correct. Like with the oil and the economy, Trump fucked that up for everybody. Right? So, and I think like you could run for office in Europe right now just on a anti-American platform and be probably very successful. You know? And that's just sad to me, dude. It's like contrary to what you think of the stream. I mean, I like the Americans, like the people. I always say the magical creatures. But the problem is they're very uninformed magical creatures, and they're about to get their country lifted under their ass away from them into like a total, maybe a global recession, or even a depression. That would be nice, right? And the thing is, like, and Abe says, "Oh, you are, yeah, Terry, crazy talking about nukes." No, motherfucker. The thing that is like a likely thing. All of this is a global depression. I don't know if you teach you about the Great Depression in your school, but doesn't seem like a fun time, right? And then you have to ask, I mean, it will be in the history books, right, if that happens. So why did we have the great second global depression? And then it will say, yeah, because Trump had a bad day, right? And that's all right for me, dude. We have been the bad guys long enough, right? Everywhere I go. What about them Nazis, right? You know how it is. Finally, somebody stepped up and did the unthinkable, and now you're the bad guys. That is pretty good. That part I like. They're forcing things. Yeah, well, it is ridiculous, you know. But some nations getting wide. I heard Spain has closed their airspace for the American army. Like, that's a thing you can do. In solidarity, I wish Germany would do that too, but we don't have the balls. But at least he's speaking out against it, like our guy, right? But he's a little bit too, you know. It's at a point where Europe should just say, yeah, you know, fuck you guys. We don't want your protection. It's not worth the money anyway. That's another thing, right? You people don't think about. Probably. And when I say you people and you think about that shit, then I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about these other people. See, now I forgot what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So, I smoke a bowl. So you have to understand, right? America is the predominant empire in this world. That's what you are. You're the world hegemon, the American empire, right? So how does that work? Well, the kind of proposition is, if you're nice with the United States and you deal with the United States and your friends, the United States will protect you. That's at least what the Emirates and all these, the Saudis and all these countries, Qatar and all these countries, hello Dagmar, that's at least what they thought. They thought, oh, we're giving these Americans tremendous amount of money, and they put their army bases in our countries and shit, and they will protect us if it ever comes to something. Turns out, if shit hits the fan, America only defends Israel, right? So all them Saudi countries, or all them countries in the Middle East are thinking, wait a minute, so what did we pay for? Dude, already that one Saudi dude talking with Zelensky about anti-drone technology and shit like that, because the Ukrainians have a lot of experience, for some reason. But it's like, dude, it's ridiculous. So these countries asking themselves, well, why do we invest in the American economy? Because this is how your stock market works, right? It's pretty much all Saudi money in there, a lot of. So, and if they withdraw, that would be like, dude, right? Also, you don't have to understand, like, America, like, you have to be considered a stable and safe country for all that empire shit to work, right? Now everybody's thinking, like, wait a minute, what is actually the upside of being aligned with America? Can somebody point something? Right? It's in that Life of Brian movie, right? What have the Romans given us? But they at least came up with something. I cannot find. I don't know. Crafty. Yeah, that's well, YouTube Studio. Yeah, that's the tough shit. I don't know, but it's ridiculous. So, what will happen in America? So that is, let's say, the best outcome. The best outcome of all this, what Trump did, for the whole world. I don't like that outcome personally, strategically, but it is what it is. I think the best outcome is they make some kind of double deal, that Putin gets something out of his negotiations with Ukraine, and therefore he pulled some levers in Iran to get the strait back open and make it not so Trump. So Trump can retreat with somewhat of his dignity still intact, right? That would be like the most positive shit. Well, oh, yeah, well, I don't know, Crafty. So, well, the next step in the escalation would be ground troops, right? You don't understand. We're not talking about an invasion of Iran, right? You cannot do this with these amount of troops you have down there, right? That would mean, if you really want to invade Iran, that would mean a draft, because you just don't have the manpower to do it, right? It's whatever it is. So, but what can you do? Well, Iran has a lot of oil refinery and shit like that on them little islands around there, right? So Trump might think, yeah, well, we just take the islands and cripple their oil production in that way, right? Or take that one over, and then we have some leverage. We can say, open the strait and we give you your islands back. That would be like something he may consider. Yes. Oh, I think Wiccan will be live like in 6 days or something. Yeah, so that could be like his thinking, right? But the thing is, like, an island is pretty much like, yeah, well, you put your soldiers on a plate, right? Because like Abe so correctly said, like, it's a missile war, right? Well, a missile war is still a war, motherfucker. Dude, and then I have to deal with Americans like Abe that say, like, yeah, it's not even a war, because technically a war has to be by company. Tell those to the school kids, motherfucker. Right? Tell those to the inhabitants of the buildings, Like it's just that kind of cynicism, just hard to stomach. And I don't get it because, like YouTube is one thing and that drama bullshit. But when the world is like heading to a dark place, dude, these are the motherfuckers that will tell you in the end, we didn't see it coming. No, you chose to ignore it. Right? We're heading dangerous territory here. I'm just saying. Also, Putin might come out and say, yeah, well, Iran is under the Russian nuclear umbrella. That would be actually a good thing, because then they wouldn't do it probably, right? And that is and the thing is, Iran already said this, right? So if you dare to take over like Khark Island and the oil, whatever, refinery facilities and shit like that, and if you destroy that shit, like the salt, like the freshwater plants where they remove the salt from the, like all that shit, when you and power plants, when you destroy this essential shit for them, they will burn down the whole region, right? Because the Israelis need desalination plants too. And all the allies of the United States, right? So they're gonna fuck all that shit up. That's pretty much like if they put boots on the ground, they light the fuck up out of that place, right? That's pretty much their proposition. That's why I hope Trump is wise enough to not tempt them. Because they ain't fucking around. They even, like, when Trump goes on the press and says, yeah, we're negotiating and shit like that, they're going out and say, no, he's manipulating the markets. We're in no talks. Right? And that is what he does. Have you ever wondered why Barron Trump made a couple of $100 million in the oil market lately? Ever wondered? Helps out to know, when your dad got to say, we're in talks, or, oh, no, we're not in talks, helps to know if you know, when the price is going to be manipulated. It's ridiculous, right? But that's the thing. And you also have to think like, the destruction is already done, right? So if America says, yeah, that was all, I don't know, Trump was constipated, he's feeling better now, he took a nice shit, I think we're going home, right? So if that comes to be, then the shit is still destroyed. It's not like you have a button like in a video game and then, rebuild, repair, boom, there it is. No, the shit has to be rebuilt by hand. Somebody got to pay for it. And also this has to be done. So this is years of reconstruction till we back to the capacity we even had down there before, right? So this is ridiculous. And the dangerous thing is Israel only exists down there because the way they conduct with their neighbors, they're not too pleased. So they exist because they pretty much have America to be their deterrence, right? So if America has to leave the region, right? You understand what a quagmire this all is. You understand, right? And these motherfuckers have nukes. Have you ever seen what they've done to settlers and shit like that? And what's going on in Lebanon? Dude, I'm not too, So that's why I'm thinking. If somebody strange happens with a nuke's probably Israel. I don't hope it. Dude, because I think even Trump would not be that stupid. But it's also not a good thing to be like the Secretary of War and end your shit with a prayer after, dude, when you purified a secular nation, right? Make it a religious thing, dude. Stupid motherfucker. But what I give the Iranians and all their propaganda, right? And that's a good thing for you people. They're not blaming the American populace. They're blaming the blame specifically on Trump. Right? So it's not like, yeah, you Americans and whatever. And you have to also understand when they burn American flags and yell death to America, they mean a system of oppression that oppresses them. That is what America stands for, right? It's pretty much what they're saying is death to the West. Because we're meddling in their affairs since the Second World War. Yeah? I mean, just put yourself in their shoes. What if America would be you have like Canada all the time meddling in your shit? You know, after a while you're fed up. And I also, another plus point of Iran, they're pretty smart. They only retaliate. Right? They don't do too much. They don't escalate. That Trump does that pretty much for them. They just go up the escalation ladder with him. Right? So, yeah, all right, you bomb like our university, we bombing like whatever you have in the region now. Right? So they're just doing the right thing. On the whole world stage, right? On the whole world stage, America and Israel is recognized as the aggressors in this. Nobody around the world is thinking like America or Israel had to do what they did. And that's why there is a lot of support around the world for the Iranian people. Not for the Iranian regime. Don't like the regime, right? But if that would be like a country we like, just like here on YouTube, right? If it would be like Switzerland, if it would be like, I don't know, you know, if all of a sudden, like, I don't know, Italy thinks they're going to take Switzerland, right? The Swiss would have a lot of sympathies in the world. But it's these people we are taught to hate our whole life, right? Because they're the bad Muslims down there, whatever. And we need to free them from their oppression. They freed themselves once from oppression, from the Shah of Persia, American-backed, right? When the CIA did a regime change once in their country. So, and that's my whole point, right? We don't need to meddle in the affairs of countries. Well, if you cannot come to agreements with countries that regime you don't like, then get better diplomats. But there's no point in projecting or somewhat values on the whole world. And I speak of the West now, our whole values of freedom, democracy, and shit like that, if we also wage wars of aggression. Defeats the whole purpose. This only the moral high ground. And this is my point on this YouTube shit also in this fucking community. The moral high ground only works if you're the good guy. If you're not the good guy, if you're just like everybody else, moral high ground makes no sense. You look like a buffoon. You look like an idiot. And that is what Trump is doing on a world stage. With fresh water? Yeah, well, no problem. See, and the problem is like you will see now in the American mainland, you will like the ramifications will be manageable. Economically, it will be like everything will get more expensive, you know. Here in Europe, what we face next is when the Strait of Hormuz stays closed, we will have lockdowns, like in COVID. You know? The government will say you can only drive to and from work, and you got to stay inside for, you know, whatever, just to keep the energy costs down. And while Europe is sitting in their homes, wondering why they cannot move freely, Their politicians will let them know America did this. Well, they already know. You know? It's like... it's just like people know. Yeah, no more driving Sunday, stuff like that. Yeah, well, that's the first stage, right? They're not gonna like lock you out. They're not going like, we have no, you know. But yeah, yeah, dude, they do. Yeah, here too. Like America did this, right? And it's just like, and then it doesn't matter, right? I mean, you as American can say, yeah, well, I didn't even vote for Trump, shit like that. Yeah, whatever. But the thing is, like, the politicians have to justify to their populace after this, why are you doing business with those people that almost destroyed our whole economy? Right? So in a sense, you can say America is waging economical warfare against the whole world. Right? At least that's how I view this. Yeah, it's like COVID, pretty much. But this time it's for energy, right? They don't call it energy lockdowns, though. They found a nice political word for it. I don't know, energy. I don't know. Yeah, some stupid shit. But they're discussing this, right? So, it's just like... Yeah, well, the thing is like, yeah, that is what I give you Americans. You couldn't see like that kind of a quagmire coming, right? Dude, I said too, like when Trump was running, I said, yeah, he talks a lot of economics, right? Shit like that. That's what America needs. Like a boost of their economical system, you know? I like because I'm like, I would say like Germany first, right? I liked it too. Like take care about our own affairs and shit. Don't meddle with others too much. Like this motherfucker ran on no endless wars in the Middle East. Right? Like shit like that, you know? But there comes a point, dude, right? There comes a point where you have to go, dude, you know, just chill a little bit. Dude, and it's like, so they already said, the Israelis already said, well, when Iran is done, well, Turkey is the next problem, right? So Israel is pretty much using the United States to become the superpower in the Middle East. That's their plan. And Trump willing to do it for some reason, right? And there come the midterms. I don't know. I just hope, you know, he doesn't set the world on fire in this term and we will laugh about it in 10 years. We ain't having no lockdowns. Oh, you're talking about... Yeah, well, you will not. Americans, I think will have no lockdown. Gas will rise more in price, right? That will get more and more expensive. But I don't think you will have the energy lockdowns because... like oil is not your problem, right? Like getting oil, because you have a lot of lot of resources yourself. The Strait of Hormuz doesn't concern you in that way that you don't get oil. It doesn't concern you in the way that oil is a globally traded commodity. That means if oil is more expensive, you know, it is what it is. Well, for the things you import, that will have like ramifications. Like so most of the fertilizer of the world, what's needed to produce fertilizer, right, for crops and shit, is going to the Strait of Hormuz. What that means is the American farmer will have more cost to produce his crops, right? So he has to sell them for a higher price. Well, the baker has to buy crops for a higher price, so he has to sell his bread for a higher price, you know? And so it trickles down and everything becomes more expensive. This is one side effect, right? So this will happen to the United States. The question is, how good is your economy, like, to bounce that shit off? Like, I don't think the United States will cease to exist because of this. But it will be tough times. And that is what the world is so pissed about, I think. It will be tough times, and for what? It's like people think it's so unnecessary. Trump said yesterday, man, the war before the Strait, we are going to let... Yeah, dude, the Strait was open before they moved in, right? And that is the point why NATO is like that. That NATO thing is over. Like America in NATO. America in Europe, pretty much over. Right? That's good. I mean, but that's not America first. That is America only. And I understand patriotism, right? I understand all that. But do you really think it's a good idea if you are the pariahs of the world? If everybody thinks that, don't do, these guys will fuck you over. You cannot trust them. He might end the war. I talked about that at the beginning. I think that is the easiest way out. And at this point, I don't care. Like, we can negotiate with the Iranians. Like, we find a way. We help them rebuild their country, something. We come to some kind of deal. I just want them out, right? That's the best kind of thing. I hope that is what they're doing. What's concerning about that is that a lot of troop movement is going down to the Middle East, right? So, and it's not going to be a cakewalk for these soldiers. It's not like if you still think of Iraq and shit like that, where pretty much, it was just a cakewalk, like when they took over like that. That's not Iran, dude. I'm just saying, So that's why I said it earlier, Trump, that's why I think like he invited the Russian Duma, right? Trump invited the Russian Congress pretty much to the United States, and they had talks. I think that in the background, Trump wants Putin, like, because Russia has relations with Iran, right? And I think he wants Putin like to make some kind of a deal for him. So he says to Putin, I give you some concessions in Ukraine and that shit, like, so we have some kind of deal. And I can just say, I achieved what I ever achieved, and we're gonna go. That is the best outcome, right? Though then that shit stops, and then we can rebuild for 2 years or something. But I don't think like we get off that easy with Iran, right? Because Iran is saying, okay. So the Americans left, right? Or the Americans, I don't know, retreated. Israel's still a problem. We're getting bombed by them. Shit like that. So we're not doing shit. Right? So it's not that easy. Like, the problem is Iran is holding all the cards. And the stranglehold on the global economy will be felt all around the world. It's not like just a thing where you can say, it will be felt differently and by some harder. Yeah, no one wins. That is true. Dude. And you have to understand, like, it's not only like, Terry only think because he's European. Japan also fucked economically. The whole countries in the like South Korea, they asking why you're taking no missiles away. Right? That's another thing, dude. In South Korea, that's one of your partner. You have one of these missile systems, these very expensive ones in South Korea, to deter the North Koreans. Well, since you're losing so much shit in the Middle East, you just took the system from South Korea and shipped it to the Middle East. The South Koreans going, what? And that is the problem. That is more destructive to the whole American way than anything economical or something, right? Because America has that much leverage in the world because everybody thinks when you rub up to America, they will protect you. And these people finding out now very bitterly that America won't do shit. Right? Because, like, Dubai, Emirates, and shit like that. They gave Trump, like Qatar, they gave Trump a fucking $400 million plane. They're having second thoughts now. They're like, wait, what are we doing here? And you have to understand, these countries without the United States, they are not that stable. That place becomes a shithole down there, right? When you restructuring shit like that. So, and the Houthis also joined the fun. And the Houthis are pretty good at locking down the Red Sea. Right? So, and even if it's beyond, or if it's against my own personal interest, like, in somewhat, dude, I cannot help myself but root for the Iranians, dude. It's just like, yeah, this shit, we are the bad guys, the West. And this shit needs to stop. And a better world for me would be where we all take care of our own shit a little bit more, you know. Let these people do their shit, figure it out for themselves, and just do business with them. Right? They got oil to sell, we need oil. So, I don't know. Why do we have to, you know? If the people in Iran don't like the mullahs, well, dude, you're 10 million, I don't know, 10 million, 20 million, I don't know. You're a lot of people, right? Do something. And it shows you, right? That is also so depressing how fragile our whole system is, right? So Trump being constipated for a week might crumble down the whole system. And I'm just, dude, like, people try to take out Trump already. Imagine if that would happen. Imagine if Trump gets popped and they link it to Iran or something. Oh, they're definitely getting nuked. Dude, I'm just saying. Getting a nuke, yes. They're 2 weeks more away than they were the last 4 years. It's ridiculous. Yeah, well, and understandably so. Dude, if I face these kind of enemies, I would like a nuke too. It's just so senseless. That's the whole thing, right? There's no, I mean, you can discuss like 9/11 and how stupid that whole aftermath was, right? But there is no thing like 9/11 where it's going like, oh, we've been attacked. Right? That was why everybody was rallying behind America. Because you've been attacked. Well, now Iran has been attacked. And it's not even like... And the irony, like, Putin calls Ukraine a special operation. Right? Trump calls this a special operation. And your fucking Congress, like, they could do something. They're not voting and shit like that. Nobody is ranking. Because on this issue, on the issue in the Middle East and Israel, you have a uniparty. There's no discourse. And I admire the Israelis for their skillful manipulation and lobbying of the American political system. They got a stranglehold on that shit. They bought that shit. And it's impressive. I don't like it like the way it's steering the world, right? Or the way we're heading. But holy shit, they're good at what they're doing, dude. I have respect for Easter. Yeah. Yeah, right? Dude, like, if we're doing tit for tat, then Iran should bomb, like, these Congress people in Easter. Right? We bombed them at Ramadan, right? Dude, it's just bizarre. Right? And the thing is, like, what is so saddening is that people like Abe, you cannot have a conversation with these people about these things. Because at a time like this, Abe only cares about, like, how his Facebook got hacked 5 years ago. And yeah, how he doesn't care for 3 hours. And giggles like a child because what was it, like 30 people were watching. And he's very happy about that because he feels for the first time he has friends. It's ridiculous. And these are grown-up people. Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, it makes you wonder, right? It's probably better the American empire falls, dude, if the American populace is like these people. You can't understand. Feel sad for him. Yeah, dude, Abe is like, it's not really that I feel like mad or sad or something. Abe makes me curious, right? Because Abe says shit so stupid, like it's hard to imagine. And it is like, when he talks himself into it, dude, it's like, it's a beautiful sight. Not gonna lie, dude, I love that shit. And he does his little diatribes. I'm laughing my ass off. But the question is, dude, is this really like, I mean, maybe sometimes also other things have to be discussed. And that is part of the problem, right? That there's no discourse. There's no discourse about this shit because boring, it's whatever, it's my meh. Right? Oh, because you want to go on YouTube and call other people like whatever, so you can feel better because your day sucked because the gas was so expensive, right? So find your escape in a little community, that oh yeah, and head in the sand, and we don't have to talk about the outside world. Dad, I don't know. It's just sad, dude. It's disheartening. It's like everything. Why? It's like, why America? Why? And also, dude, please, if you're in drafting age and you still support this bullshit and you're still like, yeah, Trump all the way, please sign up. Please. Put your money where your mouth is. Give the people who don't want to die for stupid bullshit a chance to die last. Well, that's where we are, people. That's all I wanted to talk about. Abe, as expected, didn't show up. He cannot talk about these things. I brought only Abe up in reference to his ignorance. Didn't talk about Abe much otherwise. We only covered on how I see the current world. You may agree or disagree, I don't care. I only care that we talk about it. So see you later.